Welcome to Chit Chat with Ella and Umu. We are your hosts, Umu
and Ella, and we're just going to have a conversation about a topic that I think we've kind of thought about for for months. It comes up here and there, depending on but the topic is what would it be like if you were your honest or true self on social media? Um, yeah, and I guess I could start off with the first point. I think like with the current state of social media, it's like from my experience is posting stuff typically like the good, posting stuff about like maybe things that you've accomplished, things that you've done, places that you've been, and also presentation of like experiences like, oh, I had this croissant, or I did this, or like I went to this place. And I think they're all good because I feel like it presents a good side of a person, and I feel like it also shares in happiness and in goodness, and could even serve as inspiration for other people who view it. But there's also a downside, and I think we've already people talk about it all the time in terms of like how it makes other people feel, how it makes yourself. Because even like for example, how I've tagged this shirt in, I'm just presenting myself, but if I remove this, this is like this. It's just giving a presentation of the self that might not necessarily correlate with what is happening internally or in the background. And also because there's always like a combination of these positive experiences that are not always true, another person who is external, who is viewing it, then feels that perhaps their life is not how it should be.
They're not as accomplished as they should. I mean, for me, it goes to asking yourself, why, like, what does social media represent? What does social media represent in your life? And for me personally, I post somebody who posts a lot.
Yes.
And about my daily life
compared to someone who's a hermit.
It's more of a way to escape, because I feel like my real life, because I don't consider social media real life. And again, it's how the perspective that you go about concerning things that you see on social media, especially when it comes to people's regular life that they post, like they are traveling, they're in luxury. I don't take it that serious, except from like what is happening around the world. Okay, yeah. But if I'm just consuming what somebody's posting about their daily life, what they wear, where they go, I just take it as a way of escaping the reality. Like, I just think life is so serious, and I need to find ways to cope with things. So I just post to feel good about myself. It's like what you're saying.
Yeah,
like
and there's a benefit to it. Yes,
I just to feel good about myself.
Yeah,
not necessarily only good about myself, just
like express yourself, like a way of like just
exactly.
Because I usually, when you go on social media, you're like dancing or like
Exactly.
you are posting like a nice picture
Exactly.
or like something, and like when I see it, I feel happy.
Exactly.
I think, and that's the benefits. I think you brought up a good point, which I didn't think about, like what social media means for you. And I think if you can find, for me, social media, like I usually go there to like voice something, and sometimes I go there to post about my personal life. But it's like this ratio is like more posting about something, like maybe something that I'm doing, something that is important to me. Even if I'm singing about something that's like means something to me. So it's similar to you, but mine, I have like other escape forms, and social media is not my escape.
Exactly, not
so
the main one.
Yes, so that's why I'm not there often. But I think, as we've seen, like there's a lot of conversations that comes about like how it impacts people, and there's people like a friend who reached out to me and kind of expressed how like their life was where they wanted it to be. And I think sometimes like when you go online, you see other people like, they're going here, they finished this, they've accomplished this. And I think it's good because I feel like we need to share, like if you're not celebrating online, what are you doing? Like I feel like, and especially now day and age, like that's where we celebrate ourselves, like with our family, but also online. But I think the front of like what would it be like if you were true self, I feel like then we could also share the other side, the behind the scene. It doesn't mean like you have to share, because the 2 points I put is that there's vulnerability in sharing like the challenges you go through, and there's also this sense of like, for example, are you oversharing? Like like are you exploiting that vulnerability just to like get attention? But I think if we're able to kind of share some of the not so good, and it doesn't have to be, it could be neutral. Like we have the plus, we have the minus, we could also have the zeros. At least that's what I think. I feel like
balance it out.
To balance it out, so that when like I feel like, because then, and that's not even for the benefit of just the person who is doing it, but I feel just generally like there's more authenticity
Yeah, but then I mean, exactly what I was saying. It's like for me, I think I am my true self, I guess, because
Yes.
I have defined what my purpose of using social media,
Yes.
and I use that same mindset to view other people's posts on social media.
Yes.
If I see you posting on your trip, you're enjoying, you have this, you have that, I'm like, you're probably like me, who life is too serious, and then so you just go on social media to post to feel good about yourself. But I guess because I can't always put myself, me being my true self is not putting necessarily the viewers of my social media in mind, actively in mind all the time.
I
I
don't
don't
get
know if
what
you
you're
get what I
saying.
mean.
No.
Like being my, as the question was, how will it be to be your true self?
Yes.
And be my true self on social media for me is thinking about how I want to think about what I am posting, not necessarily how others will view
Yes.
how I am posting.
Yes.
And yes, it's important to think about that, but letting it overshadow now how I want to just
Yes.
randomly
But
post.
you not only post the like, oh, like you're having fun, you also post challenges you face, and I feel like
Yeah, but that takes a lot of courage
courage.
because
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. So I'm not. I think the point you bring is very good. It's like you can't let how others were going to view you define what you're going to post. And in that sense, there is authenticity in that. It means you're being your true self when you're posting. But I feel like that's not the case. I feel like because the space or like maybe the narrative that's attached to social media is like you have to post something extravagant, something flourishing, something this and that. And I think
it's true, actually.
like even when you're looking at your picture, like you always want to select the best picture. Like you post something and like either something is off about me. I'll tell you why. You didn't look at me, you only look at you to post. So yeah, so I think there's that. So I think and it doesn't I feel like because it's so hard to post the negative because you have to be vulnerable and you have to be courageous. Yeah, I think that's where perhaps the challenge lies.
Yeah, because for me personally, it's not that hard to post the vulnerability, and I do it. As I say, I use social media about how I feel in the moment,
yeah.
you know. And so when I'm vulnerable, once I post it, actually, because I'm like, I know that many people that are going to see it are strangers. They don't even know me, so I don't care about strangers' thoughts. But putting out there, so okay, then I've released myself and I feel good.
Yes. I
You
think
know,
sometimes
as opposed to talking to a friend, or it's hard because I mean we already talked
I feel like
about
there's
the
a
topic on friendship
yeah, you have to
in our
toe it.
other episode. Watch
Yeah.
that.
But I think yes.
You see how slick I was.
But what was I gonna say? Um, I think I don't know. You have to like kind of navigate the fine line because I think this question perhaps was spoken by like the idea that if it wasn't so shifted towards like always posting the positive, then there's more like roundedness. So people when they see you in your complexities.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like you have to post because I feel like it takes courage and bravery to post the negative. And I myself I don't even post all my negative. Like there are things and you're not obligated to. That's the thing.
Exactly.
But I think like
Exactly.
yes. But I feel like and I also think depending on like what social media can be for you, then it would inform like how you navigate it. For me, I see it as a tool, and although I see it as something that could be very addictive because of like how things are structured. So like when I go there, like there's a reason or purpose behind it. Either I'm going to like look up somebody, I'm going to observe something, or as you said, like escape. But really, is it an escape for me? Yeah, but I think if there's more roundedness in the sharing, from my view, I feel like it would make people feel less lonely. Because I feel like sometimes do people feel like, for example, if you're lonely and you go social media, you're not going to get like not too lonely. You're going to get more lonely because like, and I think perhaps it's a natural human nature where like we are comparing
Yes.
Ourselves to others.
I would say this comparison is a steal of joy or something. Anyway,
Joy killer.
Joy killer or something. Like
I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, it's a steal of joy. Something similar. But it's like you can feel so content about your life. Like, oh, me, I'm fine. I don't care about what people think. And then you go on social media, you're like, oh shit, wow, look at this. We just graduated together. She has a job. She has this. She has that.
Yes.
And then you start to feel. But I always put like you don't know what's going in the background.
Yes.
As somebody who also posts, I know what I'm posting. It's not like my life is live and direct. When I record, sometimes I don't like it. I delete and I record the same thing and I post.
Same thing. Like if I'm singing, I sing multiple times and I select the one that is good and I post.
As you see, the picture selected. I take a lot of pictures, select only one or two, and then post.
But yeah, I think on that when you're speaking, there was something that came to me. Like I feel like if things are more rounded and not completely towards the positive, there's more room for relationality. I feel like people can like there's more room for authentic connections because like you are seeing the person, if not anything, not in like 5%, but maybe 25%.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like we connect more on vulnerabilities and less so on like the glamour and like the
Yes.
flash.
Yes.
So I think in that case, like there was probably be like a shift towards like more connections, more relationability, and less like people feeling like either they are left out or lonely or behind. Because you and I think like there's always a sacrifice behind an achievement. There's always a sacrifice behind, and I think like like when you watch YouTube videos and people do like or like films and do like bloopers and like
Yes.
behind the scenes, like it makes you feel connected. It makes you like understand like the hustle that the actor or actress had to go through to like get to that point, and it makes you feel, I don't know, for me,
Yeah.
like, oh, like I see, I understand. And I feel like, and it doesn't take, it only takes like about 2 or 5% of that movie or that production, but it makes you feel some form of connection.
Yeah.
And I think that perhaps that is maybe a bit of more of what we need on social media, in addition to really defining, I guess, what social media means for you. Because I feel like if you have that mindset, as you said, then things don't impact you in the ways like, oh, like, you are perfect. But like if you're just going in like bare skin or naked.
But it's just funny, like really, like I get approached a lot about people. Oh my god, really, you're always having fun. I see this. I'm like, yeah, it's really good to see how people see you through your social media. It's crazy. For as I say, like you can have what you think.
Yes.
I just posted and I am authentic. Even be your authentic self. Some people will see it and see you like, damn, she's in life. Yeah. She just telling her stories to be like she's sad, but your life is like being famous and you have money and stuff. People are like, you cannot be sad. You have money
please,
anyway.
spare me.
You're just
And the
trying to
human
say
beings.
exactly. you're just showing to be like a normal person. So there's always like a limitation, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that cannot be like, because everybody has their own perception and experiences. But I think having like, I guess, this understanding might help in terms of like navigating that, because I think sometimes you know but you don't know. Like you just passively absorb, and then like after you leave you're like, why am I sad, or why do I feel this way? And I think having a bit of a more clear or outlined view of the role of social media, because as you said, it could be addictive. There's so many things that could like spend the whole time, and I feel like that's another conversation.
And I think you also have to be mindful when you go to consume those things on social media. If you're not in a good space, it's really easy to get into that. Yeah, but anyway, thank you. Yeah. Also, let us know what you think in the comments, or
But yeah, and we hope you found something like from this that, I don't know, touched with you, resonated with you. That
yes. And if you like us to touch more on something, you can comment. Okay, bye bye. Cheers.